You just get it.
Hey everybody, Brannon Beliso here.
Nice.
I'm sorry. We had makeup belt testing going on every Friday from 7:15 until we're done. So I am behind. I was supposed to be here at 7:45. What time is it now?
7, 8, 20, I don't know. 8:25.
8:25. Bill B. Harris. Sorry. Hey, what's up, Bill? Sorry about that, folks. Johnny, sorry about that. I'm going to do a lot of apologies. Danny, sorry, Danny. Sorry for starting late. Virginia, Matt, sorry for starting late, but we had makeup belt testing with the Labor Day weekend. August is our review month. We have a lot of kids still straggling in, so the only time we have on our calendar is when classes end at 7:15. So again, remember that thing. Oh, wow, a lot of people. What's up, Melanie, Jason, Don, K1, sir. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, folks. I'm gonna throw out lots of apologies. I don't like being late. Ray, what's happening, Ray? Welcome aboard, Ray. Don, good evening, Don. So sorry about that, everybody. What happened was Jeremy, what's up? Everyone's coming aboard. So what happened was, it's like that. Remember in that scene in Enter the Dragon? Who's watched Enter the Dragon? Raise your hand. And that's Miss Harvey Larvey back there. She's one of our black belts. She's awesome. She's awesome. Anybody watch Enter the Dragon? Put it in there if you saw Enter the Dragon. What's up, White Tigers? Okay, everybody saw Enter the Dragon? Good. All right. So remember that scene when the British guy wanted to talk to Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee said, put his hand up and said, "It's Lao's time." Remember that? He said, "It's Lao's time." Who remembers that scene? Okay, yep, Danny remembers. And then the guy looked at him kind of perplexed. Then he walked off and gave Lao his lesson. It was the same thing here. I realized I said I'd be here at 7:45, but right as soon as class ended at 7:15, we had about a dozen kids who still hadn't finished bell testing from August. And we try to believe no one gets left behind. So we work with them and we drill them and we drill them and we drill them until they get it. And so fortunately, that's what we did. Thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate it, because I know you understand, right? Everybody understands that. We got to serve first, and it's very important that we take care of our students. Cool? Cool. So I did a podcast this morning, and the biggest thing that's been lingering with me about this podcast was kind of looking at ourselves like three legs of a stool, right? Three legs of a stool. And those legs are made up of the mind, the body, and the spirit. The mind, the body, and the spirit. Now, all three must be fed equally to create balance, because if all I do is feed my mind, but I don't exercise and take care of my body, I'm unbalanced. If all I do is exercise, but I don't take care of my soul, guess what? I'm unbalanced. So you must feed your mind and your body and your spirit equally. The toughest one is spirituality. Everybody's got their own definition of spirituality. Some are Buddhists, some are Catholics, some are Muslims. I believe when the day's done, for the most part, it all points to the same place. Good, orderly direction. And that's what I love about spirituality, because it gives me a sense of faith that, you know what? No matter how challenging life is today, I'm going to get through to the other side. No matter how difficult things may be, it can't rain all the time, in the words of Brandon Lee. So that became a big part of this podcast. And I recognize that, because if I don't believe in people, if I don't have any sort of faith, guess what? That's when I wake up with despair and depression, and I decide, okay, you know what's the best choice today? I'm going to take this gun, I'm going to kill my whole family, then I'm going to go down to work and shoot everybody. And we see that happen all the time. People get in such a desperate place because they no longer have faith. They stop believing. It's the same thing here. So in your business, you are going to have trials. You are going to have tribulations. That's the nature of any small business. There's highs and there's lows. And when things are high, everybody's happy. When things are low, that's when you find out who you are. That's when you find out what you're made of, right? What kind of mustard you have. So I'm very, very important to find. Yeah, non-denominational is fine. What we're talking about is being a great person, right? Doing the right thing, integrity. So, I feel that way too. I've sat in a synagogue. I've sat in a Buddhist church. I've sat in a Catholic church. I've sat in a Christian church. I've hung out with the Hare Krishnas. Me, when the day's done, I believe if people have some sense of spirituality, they do the right thing, they believe in the good in people, and they look for that versus being cynics and looking for the worst, then we offer ourselves that opportunity. And again, going back to being a small business owner, it's hard. It's hard to be a small business owner. So when you can find that thing to keep pushing when days are rough and difficult, That's really what it's all about. And I've shared that story. We had a period in our lives, this 3-year period in the school where 2 of our top guys died, not 1, 2. And they were the elders. They were in their 50s. You know, we loved them, Mr. Jones and Sifu Howard. And I had this young team of teenagers and 20-something that hadn't experienced a lot of death. And if we didn't have some kind of faith in each other, if we didn't believe that it was going to get better, we would have been in an awful position. And during that same period, my son was going through croup a lot. He actually had croup so bad, he went code blue. And he was intubated, and he was in the hospital for 3 days. And I'm dealing with that plus 2 people dying. You know, if I didn't have some sorts of faith, believing that it's going to get better, that I'm going to get through this, I don't believe I would be here with you today. You feel me? So for me, that's very important. I just wanted to share that with you. Hey, Jeremy, what's happening? Bloss, good evening, Bloss, sir. Jer, Ray, Bill, 2. What's up, Master 2? Faith, K-Want, Scott, Jeremy, Mike, Nick, Mark, Kalfani, lots of new names here, Orlando. You know, for all the new people coming aboard, I would really be grateful if you could tell me where you're tuning in from and what's the name of your school. We love it because our collective is growing, and it's such a cool feeling. This collective of critical thinkers, of thought leaders. And that was a big discussion today. And then I'll get into your question, okay? I'll get into your questions. We need to be mindful what we put into our mind. And if you're simply looking for answers, there's answers everywhere. Believe me, everybody has advice for me. Everybody on what I should be doing with my life and my business. Everybody does. But what I recognize, all these answers may not be the right answer for me. So if I spend that time in self-discovery, I spend that time in self-reflection, I spend that time knowing who I am, knowing why I'm here, knowing what my purpose is, and I'm very clear about that, then I'm able to ask the right questions to get the right answers. Can you see that picture? Who can see that picture? Anybody? Good, 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 good. Good. Confucius says one can learn more by listening than by talking. I agree with you, sir. You know, my papa said that really well. You can't listen if you're talking. Yeah, there's a time to listen and there's a time to talk. And I've learned that very well. Growing up in the martial arts, I used to have to sit for 2 hours at a time in Seizon in silence. And I was a 5-year-old kid because at the time when I started martial arts in 1967, there weren't very many people training. I mean, kids training at all. So my dad had to prove to the adults I wasn't going to be disruptive if I was allowed into this class. So it was roughly 3 days a week, 4 days a week. I would sit in Seizon in the kneeling position in silence. No crayons, no G.I. Joes, no iPad because we didn't have them back then, nothing. So I understand that very, very well. There's a time to talk and there's a time to listen. So yeah, silence is very golden. It's powerful. Bill, he's tuning in from Redding, California, the Golden Gate Sports Club. Right on. Mark, Indianapolis, Life Systems Martial Arts. Cool. Danny, Bolden Taekwondo, Jackson, Mississippi. Welcome. Ashlyn, Daniel Groff. Excellent. Wonderful, wonderful. Cool. All right, so let's get into it. What questions do you have? Hey, what's up, George? Ron, sir. How are you? Good evening, folks. So let's get into your questions. What questions do you have for me? And while I'm waiting on that question, I want to continue that thought. So at 55, people asked me, who are my mentors? That was one of the questions in the podcast. I said, truly, beyond God, my mentor today is me. I'm learning more and more about myself. I'm becoming my teacher. I'm learning but don't get me wrong. I have a lot of mentors out there, but that circle has grown smaller. I look for people of extreme wisdom, people who have life balance, who aren't just simply chasing the almighty greenback. You know, once I made my first million, I thought, wow, you know, and I recognized, wow, I still drive the same car. I don't like expensive jewelry, and I'm pretty much the same person. Let's keep it that way and just expand upon that by really defining those things that need to happen. You feel me? So we had that big discussion today in the podcast. It really turned. We see you guys. Good night, good night. Yes, so the podcast was super powerful for me. To teach something is to learn it twice. And sometimes when I do these podcasts, I learn so much about myself and where I am today. But that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, oh, that's not a good thing. I am a white belt for life. I love to learn. I love to grow, but I'm very mindful what information I put into my mind. And that is based upon humility. It is based upon freeing myself from ego, freeing myself from insecurities, and freeing myself from fear. Because the minute I live from ego and insecurity and fear, I narrow my vision, I have blinders, and I learn nothing. I want to learn every day. Because if I'm learning, I'm living. If I'm living, I'm growing. And that's why my book is called, right? Live, learn, and grow. Live and learn, and I grow. So learning is part of that process of growth and of life, but you need to be mindful what it is that you're learning. Cool? All right, question. Don, in regards to experience one, and Don's one of my clients, experience one is about developing a success mindset. My top 10 values, as I currently do not have a team, I thought I would ask the parent members if they could share their values with me so I have a better understanding of their values as well. Absolutely. Anytime you can invite your tribe, in this case, your parents in your school, you can invite them into the collective, you can invite them into the creative process of developing your culture, of growing your school. That's very powerful. It's super powerful. Put out a survey. What values do you believe we stand for? What values would you like us to see us exhibit more of and to teach more of? Absolutely. I love surveying my parents. I love involving my parents. It's an amazing thing and something I would recommend that you do. Absolutely, Don. Jeremy, have you ever taken imperfect action? I heard this somewhere a few weeks ago. I would guess it is to execute an idea or a plan that isn't finished yet. Imperfect action. Well, imperfect action. I think it's kind of a loaded question. It's kind of a catch-22, Jeremy, because I am not perfect. I will never be perfect, and I don't want to be perfect. Because perfection is an illusion. You're a human being. You will never be perfect. Ever, ever. That's never going to happen, right? That's never. So stop trying to be perfect. But always strive to be a better version of yourself every day. I believe that. Because if all I do is try to be perfect, and that's the problem with being a martial arts instructor and school owner, you walk around like, I can't fail, I can't mistakes, I'm the master. No way. If I try a new technique and I fall, so what? At least I'm willing to get out there and try a new technique. Because it's what? Fall down 7 times, get up 8. It's not about falling. It's about getting up. So when you talk about that imperfect action, I think what they're saying is you need to take action, because through your action, Jeremy, you discover the mastery or the direction of heading towards perfection, which is an illusion. It's such an illusion, right? It's such an illusion. And I think what that came from is when they said it's not about practice, it's about perfect practice. There's no perfection. Perfection is an illusion. And just when we think we've obtained it, boom, somebody comes along and eclipses us, right? So don't strive for perfection. Strive to be a better version of yourself every day. I hope that's a good answer for you, Jeremy. Who else is aboard? Alex Reyes. That's a new name. Power. Chris Malloy from Australia. Michael, Uriel, Lynn, Mark. Progress. Yeah, progress, not perfection, sir. Thank you. Michael Zendry. Zendry. A lot of new people aboard. Please, for the new people coming aboard, would you please tell me the name of your school and where you're tuning in from? Cool. For the people who don't know, who are here for the first time, this is Rainmaker Membership Systems and Softwares presents Success Never Sleeps, hanging out with me, Brannon Beliso. Cool. And it is an open forum where you ask questions, I give an answer, I ask for people's input, because we are a collective. The goal is to perpetuate creative thinking, critical thinking, become thought leaders. I do not believe in the herd mentality. You are not sheep. Do not fall in line and simply do as you're told. That is the biggest mistake you can make. If that was the case, go work for somebody. I don't believe you're that person because you've decided to own your own business. The hard part about that transition, and that's one of the things I'm really going to share with you in November at It's Time Live Encore, is that we start out as a martial arts student. Then some of us make that jump to being a martial arts instructor. Then we make the jump to being a successful small business owner, because that's your goal, not just a business owner, but a successful one, and then ultimately an entrepreneur. Many people I know that I work with in the industry are martial arts instructors disguising as small business owners. They know nothing about small business. I mean, nothing. Just a simple question I've asked you right now. How many of you did a business plan before you opened your school? How many of you did that? Type it in. How many have a written budget? and you have a P&L and a balance sheet, you review it and you're looking for ways to cut costs constantly. Type it in, own it. Because that's, that type of awareness to recognize I'm not there and these are the components I need to become successful, then guess what? You can begin creating an action plan to facilitate that. Cool? I said about a 30% entrepreneur. I have wealth that's making me money through real estate, through the stock market. Both my schools could run without me. So I have people making me money. That is true entrepreneurship. I understand that, right? Passive income. So that's where I am today, but I'm not quite where I want to be. I taught today. I got in there because a bunch of people were off, and I'm cool with that. I love to teach. And I posted that before also, and I want to reiterate that while I'm sitting here. Is one time a big consultant said to me, you need to work on your business, not in it. You got to get off the mat. And I didn't say anything at the time, and I just really pondered that question. I mulled it over in my mind over and over, and I said, I got to get off the mat. I got to work on my business, not in it. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me, because on that mat, I discovered confidence. On that mat, I discovered discipline. On that mat, I discovered myself and focus. Why would I ever stop doing that? Ever. So I continue to do that today because it is what grounds me. It is what helps me create balance. So I take the right action and I make the right choices in my business and my life. So please, never stop training. Never, never, ever, ever. Cool. Don, seen in a Facebook post earlier today in reference to stop selling benefits and start selling values, and thought it was right on. Would you mind sharing your thoughts on the difference between them? Well, I think benefits are, we teach you focus and discipline, things like that. It's a very generic. If you just sell benefits, what happens is you're in this sales script again. And we've talked about that, and Stephen Reinstein said it really well, and I love to repeat that. Understand who your demographic is, know what their need is, and then speak to them. So I don't believe, Don, that we should stop selling benefits and start selling values. I believe through serving people, serving them the benefits of the program, right? Serving them your undivided attention, serve them with opening the door and saying hello as they walk through the door and saying goodbye when they leave. Serve them with offering the best curriculum. Serve them with the high performance team. Serve them with amazing systems that makes your experience unlike anything you're selling all the time. It's the art of selling without selling. So I don't sell value. I lead by example. We exhibit values. We behave from values. We live from those values, and organically, people are attracted to this tribe. You create those raving fans. So the word sell is not a good word, unless it's Ron Sell's name, because Ron's a cool guy. Are you still there, Ron? So selling by itself, the word selling is not a good word. Somebody, Bloss asked me that on the other night. Is selling evil? And I don't think selling is evil. People choose to be evil. If I sell you something and I rip you off and I lie in the process just to close the deal, yeah, that's evil. Selling by itself is not. It's not. I don't think selling is evil. It's people that choose to manipulate the sales process to get over on people and pigeonhole them and hoodwink them, all those old school words. They're getting over on you, right? And that's why I don't like the word hustle, because I grew up in the ghetto, and the word hustle was always about getting mine, got to get over, boom, 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 right? Got to play the game. It's just not a good thing. But if I can truly believe that I'm not selling service, I'm living service, I'm exhibiting service, I'm being the best example of that by donating to the community, out there in the community, serving at the highest level. Tomorrow night we got a parents' night out with 80 kids, free to the whole community. That's service at the highest level. And I'm not going to block you at the front door with a clipboard and pen and say, okay, you want to come in, you got to give us your name. And we don't do that. We simply serve and walk away. It's killer. It's a killer experience. So we're very mindful of that. So that's my take on that, Don. I hope it helps. Sabora. That's a new name. Sabora. Hey, what's up? Daniel Gropp, Andy Henson, Sabora. I did, but did not use it. No, Don. Working on now. Good. Still have it on file. George. I'm missing something in this conversation. Okay. George, Raja. Hey, Raja, sir. Jim, Freddie. Yeah, Reinstein is the man. I mean, because again, I resonate with him on a martial arts level. He's a good soul. He was a little bit overwhelmed. His business has been blowing up. I'm referring lots of people to him. I think his heart's in the right place. I think he's a good person, and there's something not correct. And when we talk about that whole perfection thing, he's not going to be perfect. He will make mistakes, but I promise you, when he does, he will do everything to have the integrity of a martial artist to make it right. He will. He will. I believe that. And a lot of people have migrated over to his websites, and I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Mark, do you do one-on-one for students first class or put them on the mat first? We used to do one-on-ones, and hear how we kind of mesh the two. We have kids in one-on-ones that are rock stars. You get them on the mat, they're freaked out. We've had kids walk in and go, well, where's the rest of the kids? So I think what's very important for us, for our culture, Mark, is to assimilate the product they're buying as closely as possible. Okay? So they do the warm-up, they do the stretch, they do the meditation, they do the mat chat. Then we instantly give them an instructor on the first day, move them closest to the pony wall where the parent is sitting, and we do a mini private. Then at the end, they come back with the group and they play dodgeball, whatever the game they get at the end. Then we close the class, and they'll normally earn a merit badge, 100% effort, their white belt. So we highlight them at the end. So we do it private, but we want it in the group environment because we want to make sure that they can function in that environment and the mom can see the other behaviors of what the class is about before they make that decision. Cool? Jim is asking, parents' night out 3 months ago, 12 kids. Last month, done as a free event for our families, 48 kids. This month, oversold out at 64 tomorrow night. I rest my case. But don't be afraid. At the end of the night, Jim, put your brochures on your counter, leave them out there. You might have a great call to action. We'll put a little event sticker saying, thank you for coming to Parents' Night Out. If you want to sign up, instead of $99 for 4 weeks in uniform, $69. But we won't call them out and say, you got to do it right away in 2 minutes, blah, 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 before you walk out the door. Don't do that. Just say, hey, thanks for being here. Or we'll follow up with a thank you postcard instead. It's, hey, it was really great having you at Parents' Night Out. Here's an offer. But I think it's really about benefits. And if they think, oh, I get it, it's like those freaking timeshares. You get 3 days and 4 nights in beautiful Acapulco, and you get down there, and then they want to sell you a timeshare, and you got to sit in this meeting for one of the whole days. That's not cool. We know that. We've all been there at Cabo and different places. It's not cool. Don't do that. Serve because it's the right thing to do. Serve because it's in your heart, and stop worrying about your ROI. Stop it. And you'd be amazed. We talked about that today. Somebody said in a Facebook post, what would you do if somebody couldn't afford it and they asked to cut a deal? I would cut them a deal if they fit the criteria. I had a single mom come to me and saying, hey, I can only afford, $50, but I need the whole day of camp. I know camp is $80. Would you take my son for $50? And I know she's a single mom. It's legit. She booked 40 days of camp. It's cool, right? I mean, there comes a point where you got to put people before profit. And don't get me wrong, people have said I've left money on the table, but I'll do $1.9 million just between 2 schools. That's not my other investments. That's between 2 schools. So come on. I might be leaving a little money on the table, but I believe I'm not stepping over $1 to pick up a penny, right? Do you see that mentality? I tell people that all the time. And here's a classic example of that, okay? Hey, Steven's aboard now. Steven's here, you guys. Cliff, what's happening? Master Donald, Neil, Lyle. Steven. So, classic example. I was at the Super Show speaking, and you know me, I'm the no contracts, no belt testing fees. So I told everyone, you need to get rid of belt testing fees. That's what I believe is the right thing to do, right? People have that perception. We nickel and dime them. We've all had this one, and tell me if I'm wrong. What's it like walking up to the parents in the waiting area and going, excuse me, ma'am, your son's done testing, but can you please come up to the front desk and take care of that belt testing fee? Who's been in that position? Is that the Disney experience? Tell me. Who's been in that position and tell me it's the Disney experience? Go. I'm waiting. Stephanie. Good. Don's working on the business plan. Right on, sir. Jim, this morning, coffee for Grandparents' Day at a local school, compliments of Power Kempo. We are selling, but we're not selling. Yeah, you serve the coffee, you put your rack cards out there, but don't hand them the cup of coffee with the rack card. Just organically put it there. And if they want to take one and ask questions, they will. If not, here's a cup of coffee, courtesy of Power Kempo. Boom, done day, end of subject. Right? Stephen saying, I just joined, so only caught a piece of your comments, but I will say that without failure, we can't grow. Failure is part of life. I fail every freaking day. I fall short. I do not want to be perfect because perfect will stop me from trying different things, and I will fail. You will fail. Failure is part of success. Get used to it. Embrace it. Peter. Yes, and it sucks. Come on, been there and not the Disney experience always. Yeah, it's an awkward conversation to go to parent, right? Repeating that for those of you coming aboard. Excuse me, your son's finished testing. Can you please come up and take care of a bell testing fee? So we got rid of it. So anyways, going back to that super show, this woman came up to me. She was mad. She goes, that's very irresponsible of you to tell me to stop bell testing fees. You realize if I stop bell testing fees, I would be losing $3,000 in revenue just on test fees alone. I said, ma'am, I'm not telling you to drop bell testing fees. I'm telling you why I chose to. That's what I'm telling. Well, I still think it's irresponsible. And she stormed off. So I know. Okay. All right. So next day, I'm at my booth standing there, and she walks up to me. I'm going, oh man, I'm going to get it again. And she comes up almost sheepishly and she goes, I owe you an apology. And I said, no, you don't. You're entitled to believe what you believe. And if you believe in bell testing fees, rock and roll. It's your space. It's your race. Who am I to say? I was simply sharing why I chose. She goes, well, I went back and I realized every 3 months when we do bell testing, we might get $3,000 in revenues. But guess what? We lose $5,000 in renewals. So what does that tell you, folks? Why are they losing $5,000 in renewals during belt testing? Who can tell me why? What's up, Justin, Jason, Patrick, sir. Good evening, sir. Rich Grogan. I did the podcast with him today. That's who I was talking about. So why is it? Why is it that they get $3,000 in revenue, bell testing fees, but they're losing $5,000 in renewals? Why is that? Why do we think that is? Mark, why do you think that is? Justin, Rich, why is it that they were making $3,000 in revenue and they were losing $5,000 in renewals right at bell testing time? Go. Come on, somebody's got something for me. Critical thinkers, thought leaders. Give me some love. Tell me. Okay, service, but how is that? How is that? Because she was very clear that during bell testing, they have $3,000 in revenue, but on average, they're losing $5,000 in renewals. But why are they leaving, Don? Why do you think they're leaving? Anybody? Why are these students leaving? Why are they leaving? Give me some love. Organic beef jerky. Mark, Rich will tell you he stopped bell testing fees years ago. One of the best things he does. Okay, K1. Because it gives the parents who may be on the fence an opportunity to give up instead of paying more money. That's it. Because, I'm on the fence and you're going to squeeze me one more time at a time I'm not feeling you. I'm on the fence about staying and leaving. Boom, you drop just a straw that breaks the camel's back. Boom, I'm done. So she said, wow. I said, there you go. So roll up those bell testing fees, incorporate them into your tuition and move forward. She goes, well, what do you mean? Well, way back when we charged $30 per bell testing, times that by 4 times a year, $120. All we did was increase our tuition by $10, right? For anybody new coming through the door. Within 3 months, we let people know in January, because we did this in September, come January, we're going to increase everyone's tuition by $10. So by January, it was an afterthought. No one believed we were rolling bell testing fees into it. We hadn't increased our tuition in 2 years anyways. So it was time. So there you go. So within that 3-month period, we also said, I'm not big on cash outs, but I wanted to offer my people the opportunity, buy a year, pay in full, 10% off. And guess what? You won't have bell testing fees for the next year either. Happy day. We did $144K that December. Okay? Chris Malloy, because it's just about the money. Tonight's a prime example. We sat here. We did this last week and I think the week before. Every Friday at 7:15 to 8:15, we're testing these kids. I'm paying my team to be here, and they don't pay for that. They recognize these guys are giving their time because my kid didn't get tested because we were on holiday, blah, 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 blah. That's service at the highest level. Will that build retention? Yes. Are we creating raving fans? Yes. Yes. And I, professor, am here helping with belt testing because that's at je ne sais quoi. We had black belt testing last month in San Francisco. Who walks in and spends 3 hours? Me. I should. But they're like, wow, okay, great. Anytime you serve people at a higher level, you offer yourself that opportunity to build retention. Because retention is a strange animal. We look at retention a lot of different ways. I look at it every way possible. Every way, every way. Cool? Rian, that's a new name. Rian, I've never seen your name here. Please, the new people coming aboard, tell me what's the name of your school and where you're tuning in from. We are dropping our belt testing fees starting on our testing in December. Awesome. But you know what I would do right now? Increase your belt testing, increase your tuition to match whatever belt testing money you're going to be losing, because I know that's revenue, right? And it's smart business. You don't want to lose that revenue, sir. Absorb it, but keep it nominal. If you're doing like thousands of dollars of belt testing every year, don't raise your price that much. Something reasonable. $10 a month was easy for us, right? It was an easy increase. And then, so anybody walking through the door, Jason, you have a better opportunity to convert. Let me grab this real quick. Okay. So in our program benefits, can everybody see that? No long-term contracts, month-to-month tuition payments, no cancellation fees, no testing fees, no enrollment fees. But you know what Master Clark taught me that I want to make sure? He says it's okay to say it's free, but right next to no belt testing fees, we should put $50 valued at $50 all the way to $500. Because what's black belt testing in some schools? $500? Right. So that's above all this. And that's what we charge for twice a week and once a week. And there's our family discounts. Everything's there. Very simple, straight to the point. We give this out all day, every day. We don't hide those prices. We choose not to do that. We want to be transparent. You ask, oh, your trial is 4 weeks in a uniform for $99. What does it cost after that? Here you go. Here you go. Well, no, don't do that because they won't experience the benefits first if they can't afford you. If you can't afford me, you can't afford me. You can't afford me. Why am I going to go drive a Bentley if I can never afford it? I need to know that up front. Make sense? And moms, especially moms, I polled a whole bunch of moms and they said, yeah, I want to know how much it is right away because I go 4 weeks with you and then I find out I can't afford you. I disappoint my kid. I feel guilty and I'm embarrassed. That's the worst thing you could do for me in service. Ding, 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 ding. Time's up, pencils down. Anytime you want it, you can have it. Cool? But I do believe, like Master Clark said, I want to put a value next to that. No enrollment fees. Valued at $150. Whatever. I put that in there and be clear about that. All right. So you do want to pre-frame that, Jason. Okay. Justin is saying, do you not charge for black belt testing? I'm a WTF Kukiwan Taekwondo associate. I have to pay a fee to promote my students. Should I not charge for black belt testing in your opinion? Justin, you can do whatever you believe. I'm not telling you to do anything my way. I'm saying find what resonates with your values and stand by it. I know people that do contracts, upgrades, black belt clubs, belt testing fees, and they believe in it. They truly believe in it, that you must be committed. So if you're not signing for a year, then I don't want you here. And they believe your ultimate goal should be black belt. So they're always trying to lock people into 4-year contracts and black belt club. Again, I'm going to tell you what I do. Okay. And I want to be very clear about that, folks. This is what I believe. And that's why people call me a disruptor. Master Hung Tran said that the other night, and I didn't know what it meant. So first I was like weirded out. I'm a disruptor. Oh my God. Then when I looked at a disruptor, Google it, somebody that comes into an industry and carves a new path, gives them a new product, a new way of doing service. That's all I've done. But again, I can only speak for me. Okay. We do not charge for black belt tests. I said it. We do not charge for black belt tests. The embroidered belt is what? $35. The diploma inserted into a beautiful wooden plaque, probably another $20. The staffing that it requires for a 5-hour black belt test, I don't know, $500. My time to sit there, priceless. But the key is they've earned it, folks. And if you really want to help with your black belt retention, you want to see them not quit at black belt, do that. And on the flip side, we're not afraid to fail you. We're not afraid to fail you at any part of that journey because, one, we don't have that price tag hanging over our head. Or it's figured into my budget. I get this much revenue every 3 months from belt testing. I must get that X amount of dollars in revenue. If I don't get that amount of revenue, guess what? My bottom line is not where it should be. So I'm going to push you through the ranks because if you don't pass that test, guess what's going to happen 3 months later? Or some of you do 8 weeks. That's appalling. I don't know anybody that learns much in 8 weeks. But you know what? That's additional revenue. So let's not do 3-month belt testing. Let's do it every 8 weeks. More power to you if that's what you believe fits your value system. But for me, I don't believe in that at all. So what do? You push people through the pipe so you guarantee the same amount of revenue every 8 weeks or every 3 months in belt testing? Not in our school. Not in our school. I'm sorry. We just don't. And for me, again, this is just for me. But I've seen people do it very successfully. ATA does a great job with their organizations, their tournaments. They're huge, right? But that works for them. And people say, wow, you're on such the other end of the spectrum. I respect Bill Clark and Master Von Smelling. What they do is amazing. I mean, the numbers they do are phenomenal. And anyone who's successful in their business, I got to praise them. I got to praise them, right? Credit given where credit is due. Cool? And I do. I love Master Clark. I really do. I don't get to see him enough, but when I do get to hang out with him, when we speak at the conventions, I learn so much from that man. I just do. He wouldn't have been around this long if he wasn't smart. And he's a world of knowledge. So if you ever get a chance, listen to Master Clark. So we don't charge for black belt testing, sir. And it isn't treated like a lead generating event. There are no balloons. There are no signs. There isn't a slideshow, because real life is not that way. You take a test for the bar exam. You take the test for your medical. There's going to be no balloons, no black belt slideshow, demo team flying across the floor. But we tell them you want to invite your friends, your parents. They can watch. You can have food after. Nobody does it. It's very, very Spartan. And someone criticized me about that. They said, you're so branded, blah, blah, blah. But I looked at your black belt test. You're sitting behind a folding table and a metal folding chair. What am I supposed to do? Sit on a throne? Should I sit on some gold throne and sit there and trumpets blaring? No, it's a test. And I treat it as a test because I want to prepare them for the real world. Well, you know how much money you leave on the table because you're not generating leads? That experience is about them and only them. And I want to create the most realistic testing environment, the hardest thing they'll ever do in their life, still skill and age appropriate, the hardest thing they'll ever do in their life, so I know I'm giving them a skill set to compete in the real world. Can I get an amen on that? Type in there, I feel you. Cool? Thank you, Ron. I love your message too, sir. I miss you, Ron. And I'm glad to see you. I watched your video the other day. I'm glad to see you bringing your head out and talking to people again. I think it's a good thing. Rich Grogan, all-inclusive membership, $159 a month. No upgrades, no belts or stripe fees, no black belt fees, no contract service. And see, again, because of our culture, folks, one martial arts. We are all one. So you don't walk into my school and see people in white gis, people in red gis, people in blue gis, people in black gis. And I know a lot of people do that to separate year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Of course, it's built-in sales. Hey, you're now this level, you got to buy this uniform. Again, I'm not a retail store. I'm not. So you walk into my school, everybody's all in black. We all wear the same black one martial arts uniform. We're the same uniform. It's much like a team. We're one. Imagine if I watch the Golden State Warriors and this guy's in yellow and pink, and this guy's in blue and purple, and this guy's in black and white. That'd be a jacked up team, right? So I find everybody wearing the same uniform really promotes this unified front. And that's what one is about. We are all one. So culturally, it made sense. Even in my dad's school, they were white tops. The instructors wear white tops to signify they're an instructor. We don't. I want to even go more transparent with that. Someone said, well, how will you know who's teaching the class? The guy wearing the uniform, right? The guy wearing the uniform. So we even push that envelope. Cool? Sharon, Moberly's Martial Arts in Kentucky. Welcome. K1. Did you randomly pick $10 or was there a form? Yeah, because we were charging $30 a month for belt testing at that time, K1, right? So if we do 4 tests a year. 4 times 30 was $120. We just made, and since there's 12 months in the year, we just increased it by $10 a month. Does that make sense, everybody? I love math. Mark, could I get a copy of that? A copy of what, sir? A copy of this, Mark? You guys want a copy of this? Jason Smith, values on there and people are loving it. Justin, thank you so much, sir. I believe in learning and growing. I'm going to take away fees. Yeah, but please be mindful how that's going to offset your revenue, right? Especially you young, struggling schools. You know, I take leaps of faith every day, but please look at your budget. If you're going to take away fees, how much money are you losing? Where are you going to make that up at? Especially if you're just on that fence of making rent and all the rest. Please be mindful of that. You know, can you absorb that? Maybe it needs to be a slower transition. You know what I mean? Look at that realistically. I know you're excited, but look at that for the other part. But I knew service-wise, I don't want to be ever perceived as nickel and diming. You will never see a review that says we nickel and dime people and we're all about the money. Every time you turn around, you're reaching in their pocket. Ah, man, that makes me want to cry. It makes me want to cry. It's like when the White Sox threw the World Series back whenever, and the little kid said in the movie, "Say it ain't so, Joe." When I went to Wikipedia and I saw a word that said McDojo, a word that said Black Belt Factory, and all the characteristics that went under that, I was sad. I love martial arts. I grew up above my dad's martial arts school, been doing it since I was 5. McDojo? Black Belt Factory? Nickel and dime? They're all about the money? For me, it was all about family. So it took me a long time to create a business model that would be extremely profitable while staying within those values. Don't be an artist who suffers for his art. That may be romantic and noble, but you know what? I got kids. I have a mortgage. I have all those things, and I believe you can do both. Great martial arts, great values, great systems of service, extremely profitable. That works for me, and I believe everybody deserves that if that's what you truly want. It's just, again, finding a way. I had no data. There was tons of data saying if I do contracts and belt fees and upgrades and renewals, I would make a lot of money. There was no data to prove that a service-based model could be profitable. And that's why I am a disruptor. And that's why I will continue to stand on my soapbox and sing this song, because the potential is there. And we're proof of that. 1.9 million we'll do this year between 2 schools, each one 3,700 square feet. I believe those are great numbers. Great numbers. All right. Rich, Justin, your values, feel it in your heart. 26 with the Federation was changing my heart. Yeah, you know, Rich, and he said that before, but today in his podcast, he said that really well. You know, he was with the Federation Association for 26 years. They beat him down. Anytime he tried to do something different or come out of the box, they shut him down. Anytime he wanted to behave like a kid and be humble and human, you have to act a certain way, behave a certain way. And it wasn't helping him. It wasn't helping him at all. Because you are all critical thinkers, and I choose not to be part of an association. I've been approached because people want to make money off my schools, and, you know, you should pay us for this and that, and we'll come to belt testing and da-da-da-da-da. And you know what? I'm sorry. I can make a diploma myself. I can sign it myself, and my students are happy if I show up to belt testing. It's totally cool, right? We don't need special guests. We don't need a radio announcer to come do a motivational talk. We don't need any of that. It's a test. And that's what it is, a test. Cool? Yeah, and you got to do what's right for you. Thank you, Rich. Mark, okay, if I charge $40 for belt testing and I decide to get rid of it, what would you do to make up for this? We test every 12 weeks. Well, divide 12 into the number of weeks. So we're roughly, what, four belt testings a year? Is that right, Mark? Roughly 4, right? Pretty much 4 times $40 is 160. Take the 160 divided into 12. What's that, a little more than $10? You know, 10 would be 120. Another 40 divided into 12. 40 into 12 is what? Another 3, right? 40 into 12. Yeah, something like that. So charge $13. Increase your tuition by $13, Mark, and it takes care of it all. Cool? Yeah, Sharon Moberly, right? Master Clark, and if you ever see Grandmaster Clark, tell him Professor Beliso says hello. I mean, he's an icon, and he talks to me as an equal. And that was admirable too. He sat in and heard me speak. And he said to me, son, he called me son. He said, son, it's amazing what you do. Your message is something I've never heard. And he was very kind about them. This guy's, one of the top speakers himself. So he gave me a lot of inspiration, and he does till this day. John Gonzalez, welcome. Chris, are your class times 45 minutes? For kids, it's 45. For our Excellent Kids program, it's 40. For our adults, it's an hour. Good. Raja did the same thing. He stopped bell testing fees, he increased his tuition, and it seems good so far. But it's also, something you can add that why. Why do you want to come to One Martial Arts versus the guy across the street? We don't nickel and dime you. We have no bell testing fees, no long-term contracts, no upgrades. Every time you come to class, we want to earn your business. And if we don't do a good job, we don't deserve to have you here. I say that all the time, and parents look at me like, whoa. But we take accountability and ownership for that, folks. We own that. Cool? Patrick, excellent. Yeah, Chris with a 15-minute changeover. We do, but we're prime hours. It's like a restaurant. So during the weekdays, we don't have 15 minutes between classes, sir. We're on it. We go from one class to the next. And that's because you figure we're doing 5 classes per mat. If you put in 15 minutes, that's an hour and 15 minutes of loss. That's a whole nother class and a half. So we don't do that. We just weekends we have to. Otherwise we compromise service, but we can't do that during the week. We'd love to. Patrick, I think the whole different colored uniforms make students feel like second-class citizens. Thank you, Patrick. And again, you want to promote a brand, a culture, a tribe. You are a tribe. And when you're all wearing the same thing, I got to be a little dated. To me, it was like running in a gang. We all wore the same jean jackets and hoods and bell bottoms, and it was a trip. And that's how we knew that was our gang. You ever watch that movie Warriors? Each gang dressed a certain way. It's the same thing here. And you really create that united front. You're right. Everybody flies first class, Patrick. Everybody flies first class. Nobody's a second-class citizen. I'm a lowly white belt. I get to wear the white uniform. No way. And you're part of the tribe from day one. We all wear black, and that's the way we roll. Yep, Rich, retention. It is easier to keep than work for a new student. Absolutely. Rich Grogan, Mark, I charge $55 for belt fees, and every single month we had more and more quits and more questions. Drop fees and increase retention. Yes. Danny, welcome, Danny, sir. Herman. Long time, sir. Herman Macon. Mark. Raja. Yep. 13.33 cents a month. There you go. Round it off to $13, right? And increase your tuition by $13. Done day, Mark. Next question. That's K1 saying that's a powerful statement. We want to earn your business. And if you're unhappy, we don't deserve your business. We do. And when a new perspective walks through the door, that's what basically my internal script is. We have no contracts because everything for us is to month. And we do that. We don't even have a cancellation fee because we believe every time you walk through that door, we want to earn your business. And if we don't do a great job, then we don't deserve your business. Write that down. Utilize that. It's a sense of ownership. And we do that. When people cancel, we don't give them a 3rd degree. We don't run them through the ringer. We send a thank you postcard that says, thank you for allowing us to serve you. If there's anything we could have done better, please share, because we constantly want to improve our service, and our arms will always be open right here when you want to return. We have kids come 3 years later, parents come 3 years later with a sibling that was 1 at the time, because we always leave that door open. When that exit is horrible, and I say this a lot, I want their exit to be just as wonderful as their entrance into my school. When it's horrible? When you see them at a mall and they look the other way and walk the other way. That's when you know your exit sucks. And you need to work on that. You need to change it. You feel me? Because I want that memorable experience, even if it is you leaving. I want to make that as memorable as possible. I'm not going to lace it with the 3rd degree, make you feel guilty, tell you you're a lousy parent, how dare you let them quit, all those sales tactics to prevent them from quitting. Or lastly, here's a contract, you can't get out of it. None of it. I want that exit to be amazing. And if it's amazing, you leave that door open for the potential of them coming back or the sibling coming back. You feel me? And if I see you in the mall, I run up to you, I pat you on the head, I shake your parent's hand and say, how you doing? Can I get I feel you? All right? Herman, is it the same way in your after-school program? Absolutely. Week to week. is our after school program. Again, if we suck, we haven't earned your business, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it, sir. And if the only thing keeping you there is a contract, oh man, that's horrible. That's lazy and it's complacent. It is. Hey, Jose from the House of the Samurai. I know this thinking is radical. I know you're not used to it. People are like, wow, this guy must be freaking nuts. But I'm not. My numbers speak for themselves. I post my numbers all the time through Rainmaker. You can call Rainmaker. They can verify every number, every transaction in there, right? Why would I want to pay the government more money? I keep my tax returns because people call me a liar because they say my numbers are overinflated. So here's my tax returns. They sit on my computer. There you go. They're there. They're there. All right, Kimron's saying, if a parent comes and says Johnny is thinking about quitting, I'm not sure what we should do next month or something similar to that. How would you immediately respond to that? I would ask why. Why is Johnny thinking of quitting? Well, he says he's bored. Oh, excellent, ma'am. What I would love to do is offer Johnny a 30-minute private, give us the opportunity to earn him back, to earn that trust from him. He's bored because we're not serving him really well. Or how about Johnny's bummed out because he's not earning his stripes and I don't feel like he's progressing. I understand that, ma'am. So what I would love to do is to serve you better by offering you a complimentary private lesson. We'll hopefully get Johnny back on board and help him earn those stripes and get caught up. That's several of what I say. Right? But ultimately, when somebody quits, see, when somebody's coming to you and they're saying to you, K1, we're thinking about quitting, they don't want to quit. Because you know what? If somebody's quit, they already quit in their mind months before. And they're just telling you now. It's kind of like, I liken everything to a relationship. It's a relationship. All right? And when a girl breaks up with you, she's not breaking up with you that day. K1, she broke up with you months ago. And you weren't just paying attention enough to see the telltale signs. So if you have the blessing of a parent standing in front of you saying, we're thinking of quitting, oh man. But you know what happens? It happened to me. I had, a parent say that they're thinking about quitting. The kids are unmotivated. They don't want to come. So we did everything we could. He said, well, it was a long summer. People take a lot of time off because of the holidays in the summer. Give us that opportunity. We served them well. We got them through their belt test. They got the new belt. And guess what? They quit 2 days ago. Said that they have scheduling conflicts. Again, but see, you know what? I know we did everything we can and could have done to serve them. It's just not a good fit right now. And that's okay. Martial arts is not for everybody. So when somebody quits, a great book you should read is The Form Agreements by, I think it's Miguel Luis Ruiz. And one of his agreements is do not take anything personally. When a student quits, and after we send the thank you postcard, guess what we do? We step on that mat and we teach the best class ever. Because they're gone. So focus on loving the people that are still here. Work harder to retain their business because that is within your power. But to mope about it, to beat yourself up, to let your ego get in the way and blah, 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 it's a waste of time. It's a done deal. Don't spend any energy on that. But what you can do is what's right in front of you. Make sense? This is the topic I just was thinking about. Good, Rich. New friends on the line. I humbly ask you to listen with an open mind. I know it's different than anything you've ever heard, but I promise you this is the right thing, the honorable thing, and it does work. I know it's scary because it's just been drilled into our minds till we're like those kids. Anyone ever watched The Wall by Pink Floyd? Remember when those kids are marching like zombies and they're getting ground up into hamburger? I see that all the time when I speak and travel and do the circuit. They're sitting down and they're going, isn't this the same information they tried to sell me 5 years ago, but it's got a different bow on it? Oh, no, it's not. They're telling me it's not, so I believe them. And they write down the same thing again. The only thing new and innovative I see in our industry is hyper. I see Facebook marketing, ClickFunnels, but beyond that, the nuts and bolts of bettering your curriculum, of bettering your systems, of growing a tribe and a culture, it's not there. They talk about it because they're buzzwords, but I live it every day. And cultivating that culture is something that is very unique to each individual school. And there's companies out there that will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for this type of knowledge and work because they understand that's what's going to get their company to the next step, get their company to the next step and the next step. if that be your vision. Cool? But I know most of you right now would be happy to have a school running strong with a bench strength with 300 students. And you can take at least your summers off, right? And you're paying your mortgage. You're taking care of your kids and college and retirement. That'd be a great place to start. So let's start there, right? And this critical thinking, this way of doing business, I will tell you, it's unlike anything around me. Everybody does contracts around me. So that alone sets me apart. Everybody does belt testing fees. That alone sets us apart. And we have this dynamite culture and everything to go. So great. You don't have all those trappings and you have a better product. It's a done day. It's a done day. Makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm big on that too. You know, K1, I'm really big on letting it go, right? You got to let it go. But that ego, that insecurity, that fear doesn't mean I'm a crappy teacher. You know, what's wrong with them? I'm a great teacher. It's got nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. When I quit swimming, nobody gives me a third degree. When I take my kid out of soccer, they go, oh, really sorry to see you go. That's it. Done day, right? It probably has nothing to do with you anyways. It could realistically be a scheduling conflict. Honest to goodness, it's a scheduling conflict. No, 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 the little internal dialogue's going, it's about me, 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 me. No, it's not. No, it's not. So once we let go of that, that allows us to take our energy and channel it into the things we can do, which is to harp, march onto that mat and teach the best class ever. To give 10 times more love to your existing students, because it's a reminder that every day they're one step closer to being a black belt or one step closer to leaving. And without the contracts, they are. So every day we are put on the mat. We are put right there every day. Every day we're under fire to perform well. And I tell my team, you cannot have a bad day. So through the systems and the training, they automatically don't have bad days. Well, human beings, so 99% of the time, they're on point. Jason, how do you assess handling the current students that are on contracts and trying to get everyone to month? That's an easy thing. Grandfather them in, Jason. You can say you can stay at your own contract with belt testing fees for the next whatever year, 2 years, or we have an increased tuition. You can go month to month. But here's the setback, right? That guy that's been on the fence going, oh man, I got another 6 months on this contract. You let him go to month. He's going to go to month and quit at the end of that month. Does that make sense? Do you hear me on that? So be mindful of that. Don't drop that right away. Say, maybe 3 months. In 3 months, we're going to drop contracts. But you know what I'm going to do in that 3 months? Guess what I'm going to do in that 3 months? Anybody? What am I going to do in that 3 months? Jason, tell me. What am I going to do in that 3 month period? Go. Critical thinkers. Give me love. What are you going to do? What are you going to do in that 3 month period before you say to them, you can stay with your contract and belt testing fees, or you can go to month at $10 more a month than what you're currently paying. Go. What are you going to do? You're right, Adam. Pop-in classes, serve better. And I'm methodically going through everybody on a contract, and I'm going to raise my bar of service for them because it's easy to be complacent. I got you locked into your contract. It doesn't say I have to teach you well. It just says, you signed up for martial arts lesson. You're locked into this contract for a year. So now, guess what? I'm going to serve you better than you've ever been served. I'm going to add value with Free Parents Night Out. I'm going to add value in every shape, way, and form. So when you finish that contract, you're actually going to beg me to lock you into 4 more years, right? Right? And it's amazing when people go, you're month to month, everybody else isn't. Yeah. And they come experience our culture, but we still have attrition. It still happens. People quit. But I believe we have a better chance of retaining them by behaving this way. Cool? Uriel, give them the Disney experience. K1, 10 times your service to them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you read Tony Hsieh's book, Delivering Happiness, he says that I'm not in the shoe business. I'm in the service business to the tune of being $1 billion online shoe company. Who'd have thunk? Who could sit there and sell shoes online that women can't try on? Huh. Free shipping both ways. What? You're going to lose your shirt on it. No, I won't. They'll buy 20 pairs of shoes, try them on, keep 10 and only send 10 back. I made money on 10 pairs of shoes. Minus expenses, I'm still profiting, roughly what's equal to 5 pairs of shoes that would have sent if they paid shipping, if they had to send it back. Tony Hsieh is brilliant because he really understood. It's not about selling shoes. It's about service. And we are servants. True martial artists are servants to their country, servants to the community. That's the Budo spirit of service, right? Why do I sit here for an hour every night with you? For the most part, I'm serving you. Do many of you pick up my products? You do. But do I cram them down your throat? Do I hold back any information? Let's wet your whistle a little bit. Now, if you want more, you got to buy this product. Wet your whistle. That's lame. I don't believe in that. That's not what we're here to do. That's not what we're here to do. And that's why I'm a disruptor. And I'm cool with that. All day, every day. I hope what it does is it inspires you to go out and say, not how can I make more money off my student. And I'm irked by that. Every time someone says you want to increase revenue, hit your existing students. Who's heard that one before? If I want to increase my revenue, first thing I'm going to do is low-hanging fruit. I'm going to get more money from my existing students. Who's heard that one before? Type it in. Tell me I'm not crazy and I'm not the only one who's heard that. Go. Code of the Samurai, to serve. Thank you, Rich. Who's heard that one? If you want to increase your revenue, increase your student value. Student monetary value, not service value. Your student value. Who's heard that? Yeah, I think Disruptor will be my next book. I was going to be Serve to Success, but I like Disruptor. It's just really resonating. And thank you, Master Hung Tran. It's amazing. It's just really been all over me. Come on. Nobody's got a comment on that? Okay, you've heard that before, right? And that sucks. My loyal clients have been me. The first thing I'm going to do is make them pay me more money. That's horrible. That's horrible. I'm not going to reduce it, and I want to be mindful of that, Rich. You said that I may be different, but I kept all current students at their current price as a loyalty price and simply raise all new members. Eventually, though, Rich, the cost of living is 4% a year, sir. By logical reason, you should be allowed to increase everybody's tuition by 4% a year. So at some point, I would advise you to look at that because mat space is prime real estate. Now, if I got somebody there paying me $10 an hour, I got somebody here paying me $20 an hour. Yeah, it averages to 15, but pretty soon it's going to be so disproportional. It doesn't make sense. So that student value, you want to kind of get even in there a little more. And that's just business. That's just the business side of it, okay? My rent isn't any cheaper in this square foot part of the building as it is in that part of the building. No, it's exactly the same amount per square foot across the board, Rich. I hope that makes sense. All right. Yeah. Yep. And that's it. So I'm glad it confused you, Adam, because you are coming into that mindset, right? We are about service. That's who we are. That's what we're about. And that's what we're going to be. Okay? All right. So we've been here an hour, folks. We got to wrap this up. I'm going to be disciplined because I could stay here all night with you guys. I really could. We are critical thinkers. Man, it's powerful what we're doing. Our collective is growing each and every night, which inspires me to push forward and push on because I love the martial arts, you guys. And I was around. I started in 67. So I was there when there were no contracts, when it was simply sensei and sifu. And of course, the Koreans always use master. And then somewhere in the 80s when Karate Kid came out, then the contract came out. And because nobody wanted to deny their kid to be the Karate Kid. So you could do what you want, say what you want, charge what you want. And people were flocking out the doors. And I'm like, say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so that you're simply passing me because I did 20 classes. That doesn't make sense. There's no demonstration. I don't have to perform anything professionally. No, just pay your belt fee and you move on. What? Well, most of them will never make black belt anyway, so it doesn't matter up to black belt. Yes, it does. Because service is about each and every day you step onto my floor, I'm going to teach you what it means to be a black belt and give you those values and quality and teach you work ethic and to work hard. I'm going to do all of it. Whether I believe you're going to be there for a month or 10 years makes no difference. Service is not discriminatory. It is not based upon that type of thinking. You feel me? All right. So let's start wrapping it up. Wait, let's see. Jason, we started announcing that our parents' night are going to be free, but no bell testing fees and family fun for days and much more. You could see the smiles generically. Yeah, because you just added value to your existing members. That's going to increase your retention already. And now they're going to start referring you. Who's going to be talking about you at the bus stop? Hey, you want to go to dinner on Saturday? Oh, no, we can't get anyone to watch the kids. Well, guess what? My kids go to One Martial Arts. And they do this free parents night out where they can bring their friends. They have pizza and juice and dodgeball and life skills and board breaking. Guess what? We'll get them all signed up and then we can go check out this new restaurant. You feel me? Yeah, so good for you, Jason. K1, I worked for a major school for years, and every day they drilled us as program directors to get more out of the parents every day. T-shirts, bracelets, new equipment, even as low as you don't want to buy more uniforms. Had like a goal of upselling at least 8 people per day. Oh my God. Always felt horrible doing that in an industry, and eventually led me to leaving them. It is, because I don't think it's in line with the martial arts spirit. I don't. Call me old school. You know, I've done this since '67, so call me old school. But I'm also profitable, so people will allow me a voice. That's sad. You know, allow me a voice because it makes sense. Allow me a voice because it is values. Allow me a voice because it's integrity. Don't listen to me because my schools do 1.9 mil between 2 of them. Do it because it's the right thing to do. You know? Man. All right. Honor is honor and dishonor is disrespectful. It's a feeling. So what are our takeaways tonight? Give me your 3 top takeaways. Go. 3 top takeaways. Go. Put them in. And while they're putting them in, hey, Rich, I did the podcast with Rich today. Rich, put in your iTunes podcast landing page. Is that right? My podcast will be out Monday with him. He's a really great man. His insight, his positive mindset, and his faith is something that resonates with me, and I'm sure with you. So put it in there, Rich. I want people to get a chance to listen to you as well. Put it in there, the link to your podcast, please. So K1, his big takeaways. True martial artists are servants, yes. Don't step over $1 to pick up a penny, yes. And we want to earn your business. And if unhappy, we don't deserve it. It's true. I love it. Ooh, man, put that on a poster, K1. True martial artists are servants. We are servants, and I'm cool with that. Don't step over $1 to pick up a penny. We want to earn your business. If unhappy with us, we don't deserve you. I said all the time, if we don't serve you well, we don't deserve your business. Jason, service first. Yes. People before profits. And service is the new profit. So if I put people and service together, I believe that's a winning combination. But make sure your curriculum is on point. Your systems are on point. Your team is trained on point. Your environment is amazing. It's all those elements. It's all those elements because you drop bell testing fees and your contracts and all that you cling to, right? And all those other key elements aren't in place. You might be hurting yourself. And I tell people that honestly too. Okay, so Rich is Kickin' Life on iTunes, okay? Right there, you see it? Kickin' Life, presented by lineupmedia.fm. Okay, Jason's takeaways are service first, earn their business daily, and never stop training. There you go. Because we constantly improve upon what we do to better serve you. And it rhymes. I made that one years ago. Write that down. We constantly improve upon what we do to better serve you. Hey, Jin. What's happening? Jin is our janitor. You've seen him here on some of my late night Success Never Sleeps. We have cleaning services in both locations 7 days a week. 7 days a week. That's part of the Disney experience. I want this school clean, and I'll be darned if I'm going to make my team clean it after a long day of teaching. Just doesn't make sense. Again, I want my team to be winners too, right? They're going to come back here tomorrow fresh with a clean school and be ready to rock it. So write that down. We constantly improve upon what we do to better serve you. Print it out, hang it in your instructor's room. Let them read that. So it's constant improvement. That Kaizen, Toyota lives by it. So that's why your team must be training as martial artists, training, staff training. They're always improving upon who they are, becoming better versions of themselves daily to better serve your clients. Okay, so my podcast that I did with Rich Grogan will be on this Monday. It will air this Monday. Then after that, it's archived, right? It's not only there once and gone. But when he sends me the link, I'll send it to you as well. I'll post it on Monday when that link comes up. Because I want everybody to watch it. Cool? So, put in your takeaways. I'm going to wrap this bad dog up. If you haven't picked up my book, Live, Learn, and Grow, please do so. It's a journey of self-discovery. It'll help you to see how I got from being in some very bad places in my life to where I am today. My new other book, The Adventures of Brain Tay, a children's series. The first one is Focus, carried in your pro shop. Give it to kids at birthday parties. It's amazing. Life skills is what we teach. If we're not emphasizing that in any shape, way, and form, we're missing the boat. If you want to get bulk numbers on either of those books, hit me up privately and we can have that discussion. My next big event, It's Time Live Encore, is in November. It's already starting to book up. You can come for 1 day, you can come for 2 days, you can come for 4 days. 4 days will blow your mind, will change your life. I promise you that. For that information, go to brannonbeliso.com/itstime/live. Live, L-I-V-E. I try it again. brannonbeliso.com/itstime/live. Cool? Cool. And for all my e-products, ask Chris Malloy through being a follower through my Success Never Sleeps and buying my e-products of the different live events that I do. He's added 300 students in 22 months. That blows my mind. 322 months, folks. Who's ever done that, right? And that's because he's a critical thinker. He's able to decipher my information, take action, and look what he's produced, right? And for my e-products, go to brannonbeliso.com. All right, anything else, folks? Hey, thank you, K1. There's my book, Live, Learn, and Grow. There's the event. Man, K1, you're cool, buddy. Thank you so much. So I'm going to get out of here. Serve people well. Again, I'm sorry I was late coming aboard, but it was very important to me that we finished bell testing and that I served people well. And I know you understand that. And I know you can forgive me for that. Cool? All right, folks, I'm out of here. And I just want to say thank you. Until we talk again, give me the hearts. I love the hearts. Give me all the hearts. Lots of hearts. I don't know much about emojis, but the heart one warms me. It just... I wish I could do a loop of this. If I could do a loop of this, then I just loop the hearts again and again. All right. So I want to say thank you so much to Rainmaker, to Scott Doloff, to everybody out there, Mike, Jeff. God, I'm tired. Brittany, everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Thank you to the Rainmaker gang. Until we talk again, folks, please, this is Brannon. Success never sleeps. You go out there and live your best life.